Yo, what's your man Jam C?
Yo, it's the favorite Republican. What's up?
And we are the squad going vocals. What we do all day, we go vocal. Hey, listen, we're gonna make it real quick. We look at ESPN just let some people go. Quite a few people. I sort of like some of these people. Some of these guys I don't watch. I don't sit and watch in front of ESPN all day. But some of these guys, Ryan Clark in particularly, was one of my favorites. Um, and Karl Ravech was, I forget my name, Karl Ravech. He was pretty good. The baseball analyst was good. Um, what's your thoughts on them, Cam Newton? I didn't even know Cam Newton was on ESPN.
Yeah, he was.
What's your thoughts? What's, what's your thoughts on the whole layoff, fire, termination, what have you?
Hey man, that's what's part of being the workforce of America. You know, they don't have to give you a warning when they let you go, but they want the common courtesy of a 2 week notice when you want to resign. Right? They don't give you a 2 week notice that they're gonna fire you, but they want the courtesy and the respect of a 2 week notice when you go down. So I just think that what happened to Ryan was crazy. They fired him mid show, which
Yeah.
is more crazier. And and I heard his response to all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
from what I gathered, he wasn't liked by the powers to be, and so that's why he kind of got at, you know.
Yeah, I think I kind of heard the saying. He was, I guess, too black for the corporation, so to speak. I disagree with that. I think this happens, and you can attest to this. This happens in corporate America a lot with African American black people. What people mistake from passion, they look at it as some sort of anger and aggression. Here's a man that gave his life to the Pittsburgh Steelers, put it all, he left it all on a football field. So he's an athlete first. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's a man first, but he's an athlete second. That's what he's able to speak to he could speak to credibility and the mindset of the players because he was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the game of football, as an athlete, he's passionate about what he speaks and what happens on the field. So you're gonna have people like that go against the reporters because reporters just report the news. They're not on the football field. They're not putting their lives on the line so that for the entertainment of us, because we love watching football. Those guys that that leave it all on that football field. They put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. So he's passionate when he speaks on the mindset of players. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for whatever reason, when you're passionate about something, it's looked at as aggression, or you're being too aggressive, or you instill in fear, or you put negative energy out there. And it's like, nah, he's just a passionate athlete. I thought it was refreshing because he could speak to all of the people who didn't play football that sat up on that panel with him.
Mm-hmm. But you think a lot of times he was vocal on matters that involved us.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Angel Reese's, the other athletes that were being treated crazy, and he spoke up
Mm-hmm.
against that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You still got some of the good old boys and high places in these corporations that don't want to hear you talking like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't want your opinion. We want your opinion, but we don't want your opinion.
Opinion. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want your opinion when it comes to sports, and as you just alluded to, his credibility about sports and the tenacity and what it takes, the mindset to play the game, he can speak to that.
Mm-hmm.
But any qualities, anything that has to do with a particular race, we'll want to hear your opinion.
So in other words, any social awareness, we don't want to hit. We don't need to commentate on social awareness. Yeah, gotcha.
They say, listen, you got your own platform. You could talk that over there. You understand what I'm saying? But while you on this network, you ain't gonna talk like that.
Yeah, and they're replacing him with Tim Tebow. Get that.
Look, they get rid of the brother and bring in the good old boy.
Yeah, and Tim Tebow's he's the most unsuccessful athlete you could have. They could have got any other athlete, but come on, Tim Tebow, he cannot speak to no athlete when he quit. Every arena he got in, he quit.
And think about it like this. Ryan Clark played 12 years. Right?
Yes.
Super Bowl champion. Pro Bowl. Played in the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What Tim Tebow hanging this out on?
Nothing.
Championship in Florida.
Yeah, and I say that they could have got J.J. Wyatt. They could have got anybody else that was successful. I'm not even, if you want to go with race, you could have found plenty of other athletes with better accolades than Tim Tebow. That's my point. You replace somebody like Ryan Clark, who's a Super Bowl champion, MVP, and you replace him with Tim Tebow and offer him a multi-million-dollar deal. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, you know that the opposite race, the wage disparity.
Of course, I get that, but it just doesn't meet to me. I'm just trying to understand, out of all the players, active players, not even non-active players that were successful and probably can hold a conversation and speak to the game of football, they brought Tim Tebow in. And I just don't understand that. I'm just bewildered by that whole happenstance. And then going to let's move forward though on that. Bart Scott, I think they kept Kendrick Perkins, or you don't know. I think they let him go too.
I ain't 100% sure.
Yeah, so I mean, they let go some people. It's going to be interesting to see if they going younger. Maybe they trying to switch it up.
I wouldn't be surprised if, and I hope that another network pick them up. Like Fox.
They definitely will. They definitely will.
Fox can pick them up. NFL Network can pick them up. I just hope another network pick them up. But, and again, like I said, I listened to his response to what happened.
Mm-hmm. So
and he takes some accountability of his actions.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said he got a lot of accolades from his co-workers, his peers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just when you piss in the wrong urinal, it's so
No, absolutely. Here's what I do know. I don't know about Bart Scott. I'm a huge fan of Bart Scott, so I actually had the pleasure of meeting him. But as far as Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, they have their own platforms and actually doing extremely well with it. So whether they land a job immediately, I definitely see them getting something for the foreseeable future because the pivot is up. That's an actually great show. If you never had the chance to watch it, it's actually a very great show. And and Cam's show as well. So I mean, salute to those guys because they're actually really, really doing successful on their own. So to your point, I do see them getting picked up at some point. And if not, I mean, listen, they're doing well for themselves. So I mean, salute to those guys nonetheless. But like I said, most guys, Bart Scott probably was on the podcast too, but a lot of those guys, all of those guys, Karl Ravech, I think all those guys are going to land. David Lloyd, all those guys they're going to land. They're going to land. They're going to be all right. I'm pretty certain of that. They got a lot of other shit going on.
It was one thing that and Ryan responded, which is very human about him. But he felt some kind of way and to have to go home and tell your kids, I got fired today.
Yeah.
How demeaning and demoral that is. That's
yeah,
crazy.
no,
That's crazy.
I understand that. I get it.
But I think Ryan Clark, anybody hasn't watched his response on the pivot, you should.
Yeah, absolutely.
It give you a good insight on him, his career, his relationships at ESPN, and his downfalls at ESPN as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a lesson to be learned in all that. You know what I'm saying? In corporate America, blue collar work jobs. And if you don't know the right person, certain people got your fate in their hands.
No, absolutely.
They can erase you off the board just like that.
And let's be clear, people. Let's not make this, in this situation, it's not just about race because a lot of people lost their job, or all races and all genders lost their job. I think because this has happened, it's safe to say, looking at who's trending now, Cam Newton and Ryan Clark are the most trended that got terminated. Other than LeBron going to Philly, you see Ryan Clark everywhere. You see Ryan Clark on my timeline is Ryan Clark, Cam, LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So, those are that's news right now. So don't look at it like, oh, they just fired the black people. A lot of people lost their jobs, respectfully. So, these guys are the most trending right now, but a lot of people lost their jobs. So hopefully everybody land on their feet and we sending our prayers and love to their family.
I just think before we get up out of here, I just think the way that ESPN did it wasn't classy.
No, not at all. I don't think so.
You couldn't wait till the show ended and then let them go. You let them go in the middle of a segment. Yeah, you guys went on break and came back and Ryan was gone. I just think they could have handled that a little bit better.
Yeah, again, all because he was passionate about a particular topic, referring to CeeDee Lamb and athletes, and which again, you have a football player, professional football player, who could speak to the mentality of the player when it comes to if they're able to go or not. This guy's been playing football for years. He knows. He's in locker rooms with these players. He's been in locker rooms with players like CeeDee Lamb. So I mean, only a football player could speak to another football player when it comes to behaviors, physicality. Reporter can't. He can only speak what he sees, what he's looking at, and stats. But the actual player is the only one that can really speak from experience. And I think they just don't. They reporters still have a hard time getting it when it comes to. Look how many times Stephen A. get into it with the players. Like, you don't play this game, so it's hard for you to tell me what you think I'm physically capable of and what I'm not. You're not the player. You're not in that locker room. You're not on that. You're not taking those drills. You have no clue of what come across. And that's the message Ryan was relaying. I felt it. I got it. I know you got it. I know a lot of other athletes and fans got it. So we were all confused when he got terminated. As for that to be the reason, we was all confused about that. I think it was classless on ESPN's part. That was classless.
If it's one thing to take away from it, is you give a job so much, and they can disregard it in the blink of.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, man. You got, yeah. Hold your head, Shane. Hold your head. You know, we riding with you guys. Yeah. So, I mean, you gotta need to get your shit together for the week, kid.
Nah, get the shit together.
Yeah. Everybody, ESPN, get your shit together because y'all got rid of some really good people, and you'll regret it because I'm sure most of those people are gonna bounce back, sportscasting and being more successful than ever. But on that.